I was that bad movie you would see. The football player with the cheerleader girlfriend and drinking beer. I was born and brought up in Norwalk, Connecticut, born in 1960. So, Connecticut in the 60s and 70s. And mom and dad and a younger sister. And at a young age, I realized that alcohol had some kind of impact on my family. And I came to find out that both my grandfathers drank and just stopped. And it was obviously an issue. One grandfather went totally to religion, Billy Graham and all that, but he stopped drinking. And I love them both. My grandparents, everybody immigrated from a small island in the Baltic Sea and between Sweden and Finland. And from the 20s to the 30s to the 50s. And alcohol was around when I was growing up.
How old were you when they stopped?
You know what? My grandfathers probably stopped, I would imagine, in the mid 60s, because I never remember any bad situations.
You're like 5 years older.
Yeah. And so I have a younger sister, Lisa, and my parents got divorced when I was 15 and my sister was like 12.
Was there a lot of fighting?
No, but I love my dad, and but he was stricken with it as well. And things were really good, and he was, for the classification of binge alcoholic. Everything was good, but when it was bad, he kept all the balls up in the air. Immigrated over here, couldn't speak a word of English, and the American success story. And my mom and him got divorced when I was 15, getting ready to go to high school, and it was sad. A divorce is almost like a death. That's kind of how it felt. The good news for me was I was a freshman in high school, and I went to Central Catholic High School in Little Norwalk, Connecticut. And I was one of the biggest kids in the school. And, he said, "Oh, you're going to play football." I go, "I never really played." And that was great. It was one of the greatest things that ever happened in my life. Truly was. It kept the governor on any drinking. But sophomore year, all of a sudden, this, 14, just turned 15-year-old kid was hanging out with the juniors and seniors. They had driver's licenses. They had the access to Schaefer tall boys, and we'd ride down to the beach and have a Schaefer tall boy. And I didn't really like the taste in the beginning. That's at age 15. And but I kind of liked the way it made me feel. And but football kept me in line. My coach, Dave Coyne, who I spoke to last week, and I'm looking forward to talking to him again. He was a big impact in my life. Football was a big impact in my life. Had a lot of potential. And high school was kind of like, I was that bad movie you would see. The football player with the cheerleader girlfriend and drinking beer. And the class wasn't really that big a deal. And back then, they kind of just helped you along, if you know what I mean.